I keep trying to tell y'all where the money really is. This story proves my point. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about CNN commentator Van Jones getting 100 million US dollars from Jeff Bezos. Now, before I get into it, I got to back up a little bit here to explain what's happening, what's going on, and why Van Jones got $100 million. Now, we all saw Jeff Bezos go up in that funny looking rocket, right? We saw that. I'm not really sure if that was space, high Earth orbit, just really high in the sky, whatever it was, but it was pretty impressive. Went up there in the rocket, kind of Austin Powers style, this whole thing going on. But anyway, went up there, the capsule, the big rocket part, it came right back down, landed on the land, almost like pinpoint accuracy. And then the capsule, Jeff Bezos and others were in, it landed pretty well. I'm not sure how much this whole excursion cost. I'm sure it was in the millions, not really sure how many millions, but that's a different story, and I digress. After this whole 4 or 5 minute space flight happened, Jeff Bezos did some kind of press conference. And in the conference, he thanked all the Amazon employees for paying for it. Now, that kind of rubbed people the wrong way because people talk about how hard the Amazon fulfillment center jobs are. It's like a sweatshop. I'm not sure if that's true. But I'm just saying, I hear things like that a lot. And they say Jeff Bezos is a billionaire. He has so much money. Why not give some of that to your employees? But that's a whole different thing about business and how that really works. Anyway, he was getting a lot of heat for what he said about Amazon employees paying for it. And then right in that same press conference area where he still had his spacesuit on and a cowboy hat for some reason indoors, he then gives Van Jones and also the chef, Jose Andre, $100 million each. Not just $100 million total to split between the two of them, $100 million each. And the purpose is for them to take that money and then give it to charities of their choice. Now, there's no actual restriction saying, hey, okay, you take this money, you have to give it to charity X, Y, and Z, or this money will go to a charity in your name without you touching. No, they're going to get the money straight away. They're going to get first dibs on that cash. So I guess in the case of Van Jones, crying on TV and talking about all this SJW stuff on CNN does work, huh? It really does. And, it's weird because people talk about this whole thing about grifting, right? You guys on the right, you conservatives, you guys are grifting. Well, I mean, I've never had Jeff Bezos call me on the phone. I've never had anybody, Bill Gates or anybody like that call me on the phone. And I've never gotten any kind of big money. You see, the way I generate revenue is from doing my YouTube videos and selling merchandise. ABLmerch.com, by the way, shameless plug. I make money from doing that. I'm a super low guy on a totem pole when you're talking about a lot of these leftists that get money, big money. We saw Patrice Cullors from Black Lives Matter having a whole real estate portfolio talking about, I'm a Marxist, I'm a socialist. And by the way, Van Jones is a communist. It's funny how all these Marxist, socialist, communists heavily engage in capitalism, heavily engage in the American system and make themselves filthy, stinking rich, because I'm sure Van Jones was no poor man before the $100 million. He might not have had that much money, but I'm sure he had in the network, in the area of M's. From being on CNN, from doing speaking engagements, from having charity organizations, 501c3, whatever the case may be, I'm sure he's doing very well for himself. The point is that there's plenty of money over there on that side. AOC, another one. She spent, $1.4 million on merch from her campaign? To spend 1.4, you got to be able to spend that and not get it back. You have to risk not getting your money back. Do you have $10,000 just to kind of put on black in Vegas and not even really care what happens? That's kind of the equivalent to investing sometimes. Maybe it'll pay off, and maybe it doesn't. If you spend 1.4, you might get 2.8 back. Maybe you get 3.4, 3.6, whatever, if you're able to triple up. But you might not make the money back. You might lose $200,000, $300,000, $400,000. When you're talking about the left and these political people that go on television, talk about how racist the country is, talk about how negative the country is, talk about how bad capitalism are, rest assured, they are engaging in what they talk about, being negative. They're engaging in it heavily to benefit themselves. Now, the regular normie that's out there who is not a Van Jones, who will not ever talk to a Jeff Bezos, who will not be in Congress, who will not be on television all day, every day like AOC, regular normies who subscribe to what they're trying to push, communism, socialism, etc., they will permanently be on the underclass in the system that these people want. And it's weird because, you know, your Van Jones and your AOCs of the world, in my humble opinion, I think they want a system where they are the elites and you and I are going to be just the peasants, the low class that serves them hand and foot. That's what I think that they want. But in reality, once you get into a communist system and everything kind of plays out the way it's supposed to play out, what ends up happening is they are pretty much done away with. Whether they get lined up on the wall, whether they get sent to the gulag, big rocks, little rocks, they're not going to be where they think they should be. And we see this happen. You see guys get thrown away after they have no more use on the left. We've seen that, you know, they'll be the leftist darling. They'll be on all the TV shows, giving interviews, talking about, hey, you could be the president. You're the best guy in the world. We love you. You know, stick it to Trump. All this, that, and the third. Who was that guy? Anybody want to guess? Michael Avenatti. Didn't CNN say this man could be the president? He give Trump a run for his money. Didn't they say that? He went from having, I think, 180 or so interviews on television. I'm serious. Right around that. It might even been more than that. At least about 180 interviews on television. He went from that to the penitentiary. Now, he may not have a long time in the penitentiary, but if you're just a regular lawyer and you are all of a sudden now on television and you're getting these big deals and whatnot, all of a sudden you're not getting the calls anymore. All of a sudden your income's not the way it was. Now you start doing some desperate stuff. You're trying to blackmail Nike out of some cash. You're trying to, it's like, nope, all right. We had enough. It was a good run. You were great when you were on CNN. When you're talking about how bad Trump is, talking about Stormy Daniels, all this and that. Okay, great, fantastic. But check it out. We're done with you now. Go to the penitentiary. We see it happen over and over and over again. Now, I'm not saying I wish Van Jones harm. I need to go to the penitentiary or anything like that. I'm just saying that these people that are getting this big money on the left, that are really, truly grifting, you know, they talk about me because I'm conservative and I'm a black guy. I'm just trying to grift. I'm just being myself. It doesn't matter if anybody watch me or not. I will talk to myself this exact same way with nobody listening, period. But they say I'm grifting. Meanwhile, look at the other side, what they're doing. Most of the big money, the big political money, the big establishment money is concentrated on the left. Look at television. ABC, CNN, CBS, etc., even Fox to a certain extent, they're all leftist, or at least center left in the case of Fox. So all that money is on one side. It's not so much on our side. We're just trying to fight for our values and whatnot as American citizens, trying to have this country remain a country. Because if the left have it, what's happening right now in California, that people are fleeing, will spread throughout the entire country. I've heard it before. They say what happens in California kind of spreads to the rest of the world. Let's not have that be the case. And shout out to everybody out there that's doing really good work. They have real charities, real organizations. I'm not sure what Van Jones is going to do. Probably some prison reform with Kanye's wife. Oops, I ain't say that out loud. But anyway, probably some prison reform with people. And the money would go towards that. Hopefully they don't release any child predators and murderers while they're at it. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about Van Jones getting 100 million US dollars? Whatever your thoughts on that are, let me know in the comments below. He also gave money to the chef, Jose Andres. I don't know who that is. Maybe you guys know. Pardon my ignorance. I don't know who that is. I've read a little bit on Twitter and stuff like that he's a good guy, but I don't know who he is at all. Whatever thoughts on him are, let me know in the comments below. How do you feel about Jeff Bezos? Was it kind of like, okay, I got a bunch of money, it's going to be a tax write-off, they're going to be mad that I went up in space and spent the Amazon money to do it? I'm going to say, thanks to the Amazon workers, appreciate you. If you have a hard time in a fulfillment center, oh well, tough luck, get over it. But hey, thanks for the hard work. Help me get up in space and go for a joyride. And since you're mad, what I'm gonna do right now is give $100 million to 2 minorities. Was that what happened? Is he just a philanthropist? Whatever your thoughts on that are, let me know in the comments below. You guys pretty much know where I'm at. The grift, as a cool kid say, is real, and it exists on the left, not the right. Trying to be a conservative nowadays, regardless of what color you are, black, white, Puerto Rican, candy stripe, trying to be conservative nowadays is very difficult. You could lose friends, family, freedom. You see what's happening right now with the Capitol stuff versus the BLM riots. A lot of these BLM guys have been charged with very serious, hardcore offenses and don't even go to jail, let alone to the penitentiary. But you got some guys that basically were trespassing and get sent to the gulag. So we're seeing what happens when a stigma is placed on you. If you commit a crime, you have a more severe penalty. Even if you don't commit crimes, you're just a regular normie, just everyday living, might get fired from your job, blacklisted in social circles, losing your friends, losing your family. It's much more dangerous to be on the right than it is on the left. That's just a fact. And it's much more lucrative to be on the left than it is the right. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.